Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Makakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the brothers that's teaching His truth and sincerity. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the 1/3, the sincere listeners. Right, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahushai being the name of His Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This gospel, this truth, the kingdom of heaven, and salvation is for the Israelites and the Israelites only, who are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the ones scattered abroad that may look like the other nations, but your spirit resonates with this truth. You're more than most likely an Israelite through the 12 patriarchs, through lineage, bloodline of your father. Alright, the kingdom of heaven, salvation is for you. Today's video is just gonna be I don't know what I'm gonna title it yet, but it's gonna be a response to two videos in similarity and comparison. And I just wanted to pretty much just give a response, a righteous biblical response to the matter, and an aspect of as to why these things are taking place as well. All right, but yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna title this video yet. Let me see. You'll see in the what's it called? Anyways, post production, you'll see what it's called. So let's get right into it.
Mom the other day, right? She was like, "Yeah, I want you to." So I, mom the other day, right? She was like, "Yeah." Other day, right? She was like, "Yeah, I want you to be more involved in your daughter's life." But my daughter is 14 now, right? And I told her, like, I don't think that would be a good idea, basically, right? And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because you want me to accept the responsibility without the authority." You know what I'm saying? Like, you've already alienated me from her life for all of these years. You raised her however you wanted her.
Right. So you heard him say it. The mother is now trying to pawn off her child onto the father. Like he said, he's been alienated from his daughter, and now she wants him to be a parent now. But it's not necessary. He's going to go into it. It's not necessarily that she wants him to be a parent, but she wants him as a resource. She wants him to be the added resource now, because that daughter was raised a certain way from her mother, by her mother, possibly to look a certain way towards her father, and now all of a sudden she wants to implement that responsibility, like he said, without the authority, right? His way, whatever discipline that he can offer, not even say offering it to his child, but the discipline, which is really guidance, parental guidance, patriarchal guidance that he can provide to his daughter. It's been negated, and he can no longer be the father that he wanted to be, right? Because of the situation that happened. I guess the split of, we're in hell, right? So this is what's gonna take place in this world: broken homes, broken families, broken promises. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. And I was ranting, but shit, let's get some scriptures. Why not? You feel me? Because at the end of the day, this goes back to the curses of the Israelites. Yeah, so this would befall upon us, right? Let's see, 54. Right here, 56. Deuteronomy 28, 56. I could start at 54 as well, but I'll start at 56, maybe jump back to 54. It goes both ways, but he seems like the logical one. He's the one that's reasoning with himself in this situation. But it applies both ways, so it's still a curse, right? We'll just start at 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Right? So his eye, you know, the fact that he doesn't want to be with, for great reason, don't get it twisted, but it's still a curse. Right? But his eye is evil towards his child. Right? So that's still a curse. Right? And, you know, I'm in full agreement with him for not wanting to be around his daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because he was never able to instill his will, his morals, his principles. When I say will, it doesn't mean like, that's the problem with this world, right? This world has demonized patriarchy so bad, especially so-called black patriarchy, right? They demonized it to the I don't know, the utmost, right? So you trying to be a disciplinarian, you trying to be a father, you trying to be a protector, right? It's looked down upon. But then they say, but when you do these things, right? They don't want you to do it. They're mad that you're being a protector, right? Because they want to rebel. They want to do rebelliousness, right? So they only want you they only look at men as a resource. That's it. You see what I'm saying? They don't look at you as a beacon of light and wisdom and guidance, and you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. I don't need to over explain myself. Jumping down a bit. The tender and the delicate woman, verse 56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which should not adventure to set sole of her feet upon the ground of her delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward her husband, the husband of her bosom. Right? So it's vice versa. It goes both ways. And really, how this all starts, right? It's just the woman mad that, you may have got another woman and she's using that child against you, and using her emotion. Esau, the so-called white man, the devil allows it. And there's bitterness between the man and the woman now. You know what I'm saying? Simple and plain. Right? So this is just what it is, man. And we gotta accept this, because at the end of the day, we're the woman of the Most High's eye, and the Most High was like, you know what? I'm gonna turn your woman against you, so you know how it feels. So that's why you see the men on the highways and byways, not just because of the woman, but it's part of our curse, right? But that's why you see us, sighing and crying, and for the abominations that are taking place in the midst thereof, right? Because we want righteousness, we want order set back, right? We want our families back. We want to have families. Some brothers don't have children. Some brothers have children, but they're not. It's not in order how the Lord ordained it. We want all of that back. You see what I'm saying? We want it in order. We want it in righteousness, right? So that's why that's why we're sighing and crying in the midst thereof, man. You have children, they're not really yours for real. They're the state. They belong to the state. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot. It says, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. And what that woman did, when women take away your children like that, and prevent you from seeing your child and give you a hard time and stuff like that, that's being evil toward their children. So women, I know, they're not better. They're not a beacon of morality or anything like that, and their moral compass is inherently better because they're women. Women are wicked as fuck. Okay? As the scriptures say. Ecclesiasticus 25:19. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman, but the portion of a sinner fall upon her. And at the end of the day, we're all sinners, man. And the portion, whatever woman you get, is the portion of that sinner you are, man. So just pray you get the best of the worst, honestly. Because all women going, husband is true, your woman gonna give you hell regardless. It doesn't even fucking matter. It's just whatever hell that you can bear, basically. You know what I'm saying? If you want to deal with women, so to speak. All women, yeah, it is what it is. Let's continue on.
And now you think I could just walk back into her life and tell her what to do and pretend to be father? No. What you want me to do is come back into her life, extend all the resources that I had to pull myself up by my bootstraps to acquire, right? And because it's all about having fun, it's all about the delusion. You see, being a father in modern day society is not about structure and discipline, the things that a father actually provides. They want you to just be like somebody who provides a fun experience. Being a father is saying, no, you cannot do this. No, you cannot do that. Structure, discipline. They don't want any of that. They just want you to finance the fun. So I told her, like, basically, no, I'm not going to do that because why would I accept the responsibility without the authority? What you want me to do is now she's getting older, right? The tax money drying up, the government assistance money drying up. Now you want me to come play daddy. You see, let me talk to you young dudes, right? In a situation like this, it's best at this point to wait for your child to become an adult and then explain the story to them if they want to hear it. And if they don't, you don't have to have a relationship with them. And this is a harsh truth that you have to understand because the child that she's raped,
and that's okay. And that's okay. You don't have to have a relationship with that child. You see, at the end of the day, you know, brothers, like the Lord understands your circumstances. He's not gonna want you to be in a situation that's gonna cause pure hell on you. And you gotta know that in your heart. And you know, you gotta know what you're capable of as a man. Like, you know, when you put on Yahweh Shai and you put on the immortal mindset of Yahweh Shai, you really gotta know that, you know, everything is in abundance, and you know your time will come, as well as like you gotta understand that, you know, you gotta have an abundance mentality. So if one woman is acting up, one child is acting up with that woman that's acting up, you have all power and strength, you know what I mean, to go to another woman and start another family. You know what I'm saying? And if that doesn't work out, I'm just saying if you wanted to, and I don't advise it, right? I don't even advise having children in this place, right? But if you do, you do. Like I said, if some brothers have children, it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? That was their lot. You get what I'm trying to say? It is what it is. But you know, you gotta have that mindset, like, fuck that bitch, fuck them kids. I'll go make some new kids. Because at the end of the day, you got billions of sperm in your nutsack. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the mindset you gotta have. You can create life. You know, not to say the power of your will, because you know, but you can technically. You know, in a righteous world, you can. Right? In the kingdom, what the fuck you think you be doing 6 days a week? We're gonna be farming, planting, being husbands to our wives. You know what I'm saying? Plowing them out. Okay. So, what? Like, come on, and that's gonna be a new woman every night. You know, depending on how you feel, whatever the fuck, and they're gonna be having fucking octuplets and shit. Cause we gotta bring back the nation. That's the abundance I'm pushing out to the world, man. Right? The scriptures talk about we would be, you know, the sands of the sea, man. Numbered as the stars in heaven. Okay, that's lots, man. That's innumerable. That's an innumerable amount, man. Okay, so that's the mindset we gotta have, bro. Abundance. So fuck it, abundance mentality. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that kid. If they want to come back and deal with me and reason and have an adult conversation, like he's saying, then so be it. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. That could be done. Right? This is Proverbs 22:15. Slaki and 6. train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And that goes for your daughters too. Train up, the child, and when she is old, she will not depart from it. Right. You train up the child the right way, and you're gonna not depart from the right way, man. The law, statutes, commandments of the Heavenly Father, your morals, your values, your principles, the fear of the Heavenly Father, right? All of that. That's what you would instill in your children to the best of your ability, man. And in this world, you really gotta supplant. You really gotta supplant them. You gotta use some high level wisdom on your children, because you can't really beat them like you once used to. I'm not saying you can't, but Esau is all up in your business, right? Only Esau could spank your children, not you. Only Esau could lock up your child, put them in jail, or shoot them dead in the street and get away with it. You can't even get a belt to beat your child. Okay? I'll jump down to verse 15. It says, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. Right? So the years that man could have been a father to his daughter, he wasn't there to correct her bitchy ways, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Now she's a young little bitch, and he can't deter that out of her, because she's already grown up to be the same bitch her mother was, so to speak. Her bitchy attitude. You see what I'm saying? But if a father was there to iron that out and rub that out, that wouldn't be there, man. You see what I'm saying? That fear and respect and reverence for men would be there. We're all in righteousness, right? But it's all bullshit, man, because Esau just sets up a society where you can do the best you can with your daughter, for this example, right? But she's gonna get a boyfriend, and that's not gonna work out. And then she's gonna have another boyfriend and another boyfriend. And then it comes to situationship after situationship, and it's just like, fuck it, you're done. Fuck it, bruv. You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do? You can't stop her from going out and getting ride. She's in heat. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is, bro. This is what it is, bro. That's why we need y'all shy. It doesn't even matter how well you did. We want to be on it. Oh. You don't have that control in this world. You know what I'm saying? And then, really, you want to be able to just, okay, yeah, she reached the flower of her age. You marry her off. That's it. That's it. That's all you want to do. Like, you don't want to think about, you know what I'm saying? What is she doing? Is she going to play the whore? You don't want to worry about that, man. You know? Let me see. I think that's the one. Yeah. This one I'm looking for. Ecclesiasticus 42:9 says, the father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care for her taketh away sleep when she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age, and being married, lest she be hated. Okay. In her virginity, lest she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house, and having an husband, lest she should misbehave herself when she is married, lest she should be barren. Right? So you want to marry off your daughter, like I was saying, right? As soon as you can, as soon as she passed the flower of her age, so that way you're not worried about caring about what she's doing. She playing the harlot or not, man. Okay. It says, keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter, lest she make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies, and a byword in thy city. And at the end of the day, our women as a whole are laughing stocks, us men look like laughing stocks, right? From the father to the husband to the quote unquote boyfriend to the brother. Or as a man, if you have a sister or whatever, you have a mother. She's a quote unquote single mother. She has multiple baby daddies. She's making her son look like a laughing stock, right? So wherever you are in the in the Israelite, wherever you are as an Israelite man, you're being made a laughing stock. You know what I'm saying? Especially beginning with the kingdom of Judah. Because the kingdom of Judah, and then really Judah at the top, from the Judah and the kingdom of Judah, and then the tribes on down, of course. But we're getting the brunt of this shit, man. Okay? Everybody hates the so-called black man. Okay? And everybody has a problem with Judah. Alright? Benjamin has a problem with Judah. Levi has a problem with Judah. Okay? Issachar has a problem with Judah. Right? The story goes on, right? But I'm just going to show it's levels to this, man. Not taking away nothing from nobody. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, keep it. Okay. It says, "And byword in the city, and reproach among the people, and make thee ashamed before the multitude." You get the point. Right? I'll continue on. It's almost done.
Right? Does not have any of my values. Okay? The child that she's raised has to prove that she can be trusted even being in my life. Because, listen to me, strangers won't only bring you down. Your children will also bring you down from the resentment that they have in their heart, especially if they don't understand the truth and they don't understand a real story of why you wasn't involved in their life, okay? So let me tell you, young dudes, so with these women, when they kick you out of that child's life, or when they growing up so they can collect that tax money and get that government assistance, and then once the child is almost 18, they want to come, because the child is eventually going to start misbehaving. They're going to try to pawn the child off on you. You don't accept that responsibility. Because, listen, understand, just because that's your blood don't mean that that's your child, okay? And this going to go over a lot of you dudes' head because this is a harsh truth, okay? A lot of these fathers might accept the child back and stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of these dudes, mama's boys are raised by their mamas solely, and they operate in the mindset of a female. These women, they raise their sons, to these women raise their sons to be the man that they wanted to have, so to speak. But the man that they wanted was not like the son that they were raising. It's weird. It's just so bugged out. So basically, these single mothers, they can raise a son, right, to date single mothers, and that son doesn't see a problem with a woman that already has a child already before he even gets with her, because his mom was a single mother, right? So he was conditioned to think that was okay and stuff like that, right? So yeah, single mothers raise men that will date single mothers, for example, amongst other things.
Then the child can cause all types of problems, run back to the mother because you want to instill discipline and say, oh, that's really who they was. At this point, it's always best to let the child become an adult and then have their own personal adult experience with you, because you cannot re-raise a child.
That's facts. Let's grab some more scriptures. First Ezra 4:37. Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works. Heathen nations and wicked children of men. You already know. Point being, women are wicked. All right, king is wicked. Right? The leader of this world is wicked. The so-called white man. He's wicked, so women are going to be wicked even more. There's no order, right? But if a righteous order was set, there wouldn't be no wickedness, or it would be rid of wickedness, so to speak. Especially when the Israelites get the new bodies, we'd be perfect, so there would be no wickedness in us, right? And such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them, and their unrighteousness also they shall perish. Right? There's no truth in wicked women, man. They're just plotting to subdue you, get you fucked up, put you in a shitty situation, shitty predicament. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have the wisdom of Yahweh Shemashah. You gotta have that armor on you, man, so you can withstand the wiles of the devil, man. You know what I'm saying? It's real out here, man. It's real. You don't want to get caught up, in these snares of this world. You know. Proverbs 13:24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. And really, the mother was causing the daughter to be spared. You see what I'm saying? So she hates the son, and she hates the daughter in this situation, because the man could have been there to just be the anchor of the family. This set the tone, be the disciplinarian, be the loving father. I'm sure he would have been, so to speak. But everything had to be balanced. It's not just all one way. But this world doesn't understand balance. They think judgment is without correction. They think it's just mean. Oh, you're just being mean. And as a child, as a father, I'm sure you don't want to discipline your child. You know what I'm saying? But you have to, because you know what would happen. And you would only have yourself to blame if you don't discipline your children. You know what I'm saying? Because people are going to be looking at you like, you raised them, so what the fuck? What the fuck is up with you? You know what I'm saying? And that's shameful. You don't want people talking your business in that sense. Like, especially the Israelite, the Israelite customs and stuff like that. Shame was a big part of our custom. To shame somebody, because shame brings correction. Having a good name amongst people, that brings, you know what I'm saying? You wanna be a man of your word. You don't want people not to do business with you. All right? You want to avoid that shame, but this world is shameless. That's a spirit, man. Proverbs 13:18. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuseth instruction, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's important to have shame, man. But you don't want to receive shame, but shame is a fear tactic. So you want to avoid being shamed. You know what I'm saying? Hebrews 12:7. If ye endure chastening, Yahweh deal with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? You know what I'm saying? Are you really somebody's child? Like, obviously, we know this is applying to Yahweh and our walk with the Lord, Yahweh Shai. And if you're not catching hell, are you really part of the elect? Are you really one of the chosen? You know what I'm saying? If your life is all hunky dory, happy-go-lucky, everything's going great. You know what I'm saying? Is everything really all good? You know, are you really considered obviously of the elect? Can you consider yourself of the elect? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you received your consolation already. Who knows? Right? But in this case, you know, we just apply it to, you know, the carnal parental level of it all, right? Are you really a child of somebody if they don't discipline you? You know what I'm saying? Like you can bear, a woman can bear a child, right? But is she really a mother if she doesn't feed that child? You know, to take care of that child, warm that child, bathe that child, shower that child, clean up after that child, diapers and stuff like that. Is she really a mother? No. And a woman that prevents the man from being the father of that child is also stunting that child's growth. Is stunting that child's reasoning skills, because we know women don't really operate off of logic for real. You know, the Lord deprived them of wisdom, but they would have more wisdom if a man was in the household. They would know how a man is, how to deal with a man, how to interact with a man. See what I'm saying? Based off of how their father was. They would have that know-how. But if you take that away, then they don't know how. And then they're just operating off of just full-on feminine energy, emotions here all over the place. You know what I'm saying? No reasoning, no rationale, just chaos. Just all in your feelings. You know, and Esau just allows all of this. You know what I'm saying? Just chaos and disorder, no accountability. That's okay. That's okay in this world. Just put all the accountability, put all the provision on the man, put all the he needs to do this, he needs to do that, he needs to protect, but not the actual disciplinary. No discipline, no, because I'm at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, they like to say how women are smarter than men, but they don't want to take. But they put all the. I don't know. I don't even want to get into all that, man. It just is what it is, bro. Fuck it. let me get the next video though. I think I'm gonna base the topic on this video, like the male black patriarchy is under attack by the black matriarchy or something like that, or by black women. It's not even. Do we even have a patriarchy for real though? We don't have no power. So these women, they just hate us, bro. It's crazy. Like as a whole, like, you know what I mean? Anyways, let's see what bro's saying.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but the black community is its own worst enemy. And let me explain to you guys how. If you guys don't know, there's a new movie going around in the black community called Is God Is. Apparently, it's about two girls who go out and try to get revenge against their own father because their father apparently burned them and their mother in a house and tried to kill them, yada, yada, yada. And honestly, as a black man who has seen the trailer to this movie, I am absolutely disgusted. Why? Because this is a direct attack on black men in the black community that's been going on for generation after generation after generation. For some reason, in the black community, black women try to tear and degrade black men down at every point in turn. They do it at our childhood. They do it to our fathers. They do it to perfectly good men who aren't gangsters, rappers, jailbirds, or criminals. And now, the degradation of black men by black women has gone to Broadway on a global scale.
Yeah, you just devil, the so-called white man, Esau Edom. He's done a great job of basically convincing the so-called black woman that she's basically her own species, her own race of people. And, you know, all they have is the sisterhood and all this bullshit, which the so-called white man and the woman created for them. The safe, so quote-unquote safe place for them, right? To sabotage us. Like you look at any family unit, the Asians, so to speak. I'm just gonna use these worldly terms: Asians, Indians, household. Notice how feminism never really like disrupted those homes, those foundations the way it did us, man. Because they know the importance of a family unit, a family structure, man. Right? But our people, man, we're just out of it, bro. Fuck, it's getting tiring, honestly. And this whole, this whole thing between man and woman is just getting played out, bro. We really just need Yahweh Shai, man. That's it. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. We just need Yahweh Shai to just clean this all up for us, man. And just the Lord give us the judgment, the justice that we want, that we're looking for, man. Because there's a lot of stuff we can't do. We can't take a lot of matters into our own hands, or else we can't be teaching the word. We won't be teaching the word. Long story short, you know what I'm saying? But we can't jeopardize that, man. We got to be able to be here to teach this word. You know what I'm saying? Simple and plain. You know.
And once again, I'm not talking about the gang members and the rappers and all that other bullshit. Like, where these guys who are actually evil, who actually...
Yeah, but that's for the funny thing is, you're not talking about them, but those are the ones that actually still get the respect from these same black women. They actually don't like you, like the straight and narrow. I'm not even gonna call it square, man. Fuck that. But you're abiding by the rule. You're abiding by society rules. But how is it that you're a square when these were professions that people did all their life? Let's think back to, was your great grandfather a square? If he was working the farm, he had a farm and land. Was he a square, or did his woman look at him? Oh, you're such a square. Why are you not selling drugs? Was there even drugs to sell back then? You get what I'm trying to say? So I don't want to hear. When just to say you came from a Smith family, somebody that did ironsmith or something. You know what I'm saying? Was that man looked upon as a square? There were no fucking scammers for real. Like that. There was somewhat of order. There was somewhat of a moral compass at a certain time period, right? It's just now with technology and whatever the fuck the case may be, the advancements in certain quote unquote society. You know what I'm saying? Now you could say, oh, now people want to call people squares if they're just doing a normal. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. You know what I'm saying? And that was another hindrance amongst the division of our people as well, man. But it's like you only get respect if you're not doing this quote unquote status quo in this world, right? And that's why Yahushua is coming back to clean that all up as well, because that's a whole lot of wickedness, man. You're shaming a man, like it's just that Esau, he doesn't pay everybody, doesn't pay nobody the proper wages in order to live in this world. If the garbage man was making $100K a year, $200K a year, I don't think anybody would be calling him a square. And garbage men actually make pretty good money. You know what I'm saying? Decent money. You know what I'm saying? It's just that they work in waste management, so it's looked down upon. You know what I'm saying? But if they were coming home with 100K, 150K, 200K US, whatever, you know what I mean? I'm talking shit, but I don't think people will be looking down on the garbage man. It's just Esau puts a number on what people are worth, and people run with that. People get a certain job and they say, oh, I make 6 figures, you make 5 figures, I'm better than you because I make more than you. It's just all Esau semantics and bullshit games. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be doing that in the kingdom. I'm not going to be going to, I'm not going to my fellow brother and saying, oh, I'm higher ranking than you You were a 2/3. You don't remember? Like, I'm not gonna rub it in his face. He's just gonna know what it is. Like, I don't know. Lord will, I'm not a 2/3. So Lord will, I'm of the elect. Lord will, I'm of the 1/3, 144,000. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna rub it in my brother's face. You know what I'm saying? And because that same 230, he's still gonna be all right. He's gonna be rich as fuck. You know what I'm saying? He's just gonna, not gonna have the rank of an elect member of a 1/3. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna have that rank, but he's still gonna be set. After the 1,000 years, I'm not gonna be going to the heathen and say, I'm richer than you. They're just gonna know that. I'm not gonna be, I'm better than you. I'm richer. They're gonna know I'm better. I'm not gonna be just. I wouldn't need to do that. Okay. That's why we're gonna have I believe the Feast of Tabernacles, so that way we remain humble. We're gonna dwell in tents, in booths, right? We're gonna be dwelling in tents for the week. Okay, that's there to make us remain humble, know where we came from. Yeah, we're gonna have all these riches and wealth, but we're not gonna be in the mindset of reflecting on people, right? We're gonna just be so rich that it's gonna be normal. It's gonna be normal for the heathens as well. They're gonna be well off, man. They're gonna have enough. They're gonna be working. They're gonna be working, but they're gonna have. They're not gonna be working and not have. In this world, you work, and you still don't have. When they work, they're gonna see the fruits of their labor. They're gonna have children. They're gonna be able to get land, and you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have the systems in place, bro. But this world is just so fucking wicked. They have their minds is so fucked up. I went on a tangent, but it is what it is. Let's continue on.
Shit. No, I'm talking about your average black man who respects women, who hasn't done a crime a day in his life, who is an active father, which there are more black men like that, by the way, are depicted as villains and monsters, while black women are depicted as victims, even though, dare I say, black women have caused more damage to the black community than black men ever will.
Yeah, that's why I brought up those scriptures on the wickedness of a woman. Okay?
You're probably wondering, oh, Randy, what do black women have to do with this? You just want to talk about black women. No, the director of this movie is a black woman named Alicia Harris. Like, I keep on trying to tell black people, it's not white people. It's not white people. It's not this.
And that's where I have to fucking, cut in. I knew that's why I had to get this video, because you let Jake tell it, they want to take the blame away from Esau. As if Esau has no parts in this, man. Don't fuck around. Don't fucking piss me off. Who set up the society for them to act like that? You fucking donut. So I agreed with you, and now I'm disagreeing with you because you're a fucking goof. Trying to pander for Esau, for so-called white people, man. You see what I'm saying? I'm not with that, bro. You gotta draw the line in the sand. You gotta know who your enemy is, bro. Who set up the snares and the traps. Okay? Don't try and negate the wickedness of Esau Edom. All right. Proverbs 11:21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Okay, so you don't try and act like Esau doesn't have a hand to play in this matter, in our downfall, man. Okay, but yes, we do know our women have you gotta go back. You gotta go back to who introduced feminism to our women, who started to introduce government assistance and all these things, and saying, hey, we can offer you all these government assistance and housing and stuff like that, but there can't be no man in the house, right? So what now? Like, look, come on. And then over time, people get emboldened. Our women get emboldened by that. They get proud. They get pomp. Of course, that's gonna happen. But who set it up? You cannot negate the fact that the so-called white man has set up this in place. So you lost me there, buddy. You lost me there. Okay, I don't want to hear that shit. Okay, you just a lot of you guys, all this platform, all this talking, man. You get a camera, you feel like you have something to say. You think you're smart. You're not smart. You're not. Okay.
System, it's black people. The biggest enemy of black people are other black people, and the biggest hater of black men are black women.
That part, as of right now, yes, the biggest hater of black men could be so-called black women, more than, and it's like the weirdest love-hate relationship I guess we have with each other. But yeah, black women do have a strong hate because our women are corrupted by Esau, the so-called white man. You see what I'm saying? And going back to the Gardenian pact with Eve and the serpent. So they have a pact together. If anything, their hate is as equivalent as Esau's is against the so-called black man. You see what I'm saying? So, but that's why you need the prophets have to, get this videos and clear up the air, man. Because a lot of you niggas just be talking shit, like just thinking that you got it all figured out, and you don't. You're not coming with no solution either.
Just find out that that black people are funding the KKK along with Jews. You know what I mean? That's a different video that I'm going to touch on later. But just look at the way that black women tear down black men at every single point in turn. Not only that, but older black women teach younger black women how to disrespect and degrade black men. That's why you see such a cycle of single mothers. That's why black women cannot get married to any race, regardless of if they're black or not. And that's why you see that most black men do not want to marry black women anymore. It's not because black men hate black women. It's simply because black women hate black men so much, they will degrade them, they will emasculate them in front of their children and daughters, and if we let them, they will definitely destroy the black community. I hope this helped.
Which they've pretty much done a great job of that. They're the ones raising the children, right? If the father's not home, who's raising the children? Right? The most educated is right. The most educated, right, is raising the children, but yet the children are coming out to be monsters, right? They can go sneak off, use you, right? They use Jake, so-called black man, for a good time, not a long time. They steal they whatever. They take seed, they receive seed. Whatever happens, maybe the man probably tells her, I wasn't here for this. I didn't want to, get rid of that child. I'm not here to have no kid with you. She's still she's so educated, whatever. Anyway, she keeps it, whatever the case may be. She's so educated though, but she's not on preventative plan B or whatever the case may be. She's just so smart and so educated, the most educated, right? She keeps the child, she raises a child, and you would think that she would raise the child to be the most educated as herself. So as she says, right? The so-called black woman, the most educated, right? 2 Ezra 5:8, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Not the most educated children, but you're bringing forth monsters. All right, these damn little YNs, these young hoes, right? That's the new thing. If you niggas is YNs, these bitches is young hoes. That's crazy work. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, bro. Shit will make your head hurt. Honestly, fuck it. This is what we got. These women are against us. They hate our guts. Micah 7:10. You know, they don't cut us no slack in the sense of the reasoning behind. It is what it is, man. I don't even, like the reasoning behind why there's such a divide and division between us. They don't go, you know, they just run with it. Like I said, they think that they're their own race of people, and we're a separate race to them, so to speak. Mind you, they come from us. They come from the man. Without the man, there is no black woman, right? But you know, it is what it is, man. Micah 7:10. I'm ended off here. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God Yahweh? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just that, man. Lord will, you're edified. I'm gonna say shalom to the next one.